Okay, hello everyone. So we are going to start the Anyone Python Season 3, the episode 12. I'm very sorry to the delay of this episode from the last week to today because I was out of town during the weekend. We are going to have the episode 12 today, then continue for the episode 13 and go on as scheduled on Saturday. My plan is to wrap up the N1 Python entire season by the end of this month. The first reason is the end of the almost end of the pandemic, even though there's is the case the surge, but I think we are ready for the normal life. So uh, we I think the many of the people expect something in person learning, and so because of that, most of the school prepare for the in person class full the return the from the fourth semester. So I think as I promised the last year spring, this Anyone Python is for the during the pandemic. So I think that it's a good time to wrap up the Anyone Python by the end of this month. So I think that we may cover the major part of the Python that may include today's topic more the list and the dictionary and the tuple and string. So after this, I think the most of you guys can learn the more advanced the level of computer science, including the Python program. So then that's my plan. Okay, let's start. Before we start, please turn on your video. That will be really helpful for me. Otherwise, I cannot cover the topic that I prepare for an hour for each episode, so it can be delayed of the lecture because it looks like the teaching or talking to the stone or the wall. So if you do not turn on your video, so please help me. That's the only thing I want for you guys. So please turn on your video and share your beautiful face. And then please mute audio. And if you have any question, then use the chat box. And okay, so we can start with the stretch. Okay, thanks so much for your joining today. Also, I think that I may not cover everything that I prepared today, so you can stay at during the office hour after the class. That will not be recorded, so please stay in the June meeting. Then you will be assigned one of the TA office room. And TA that we had Brian, Irvin, and Nicholas. So they will teach let you know how to solve the little bit advanced problem today. Okay, so let's start. Just let me share my screen. So today's topic is the more list because I think from the last episode of Anyone Python Season 2, we spent a lot of time to talk about such a list. So if you already know the other computer science, the program languages such as Java or the C or C++, you know the name of the array. So if you know what's the array, it's the same meaning. So this is the way to deal with a lot of data, bunch of data. So instead of creating the variable one by one, so we are going to consider such a group of the data, many data, many variable as a group. That in that way, so we can deal with such the data. So today we are going to continue to discuss about such a list. Then you are ready to use not just one the variable, but you can handle the group of the data as the variable, which is the list. Okay, let me use my pen. And so before we start, I'd like to introduce the way of the handling our memory. So if you remember the Anyone Python screen, so I'm using the behind me. There is a bookshelf. The bookshelf is, what is a bookshelf? Anyone who knows? It's a memory. Very nice. Thank you so much, Daniel. So it's our memory. So what is a memory, by the way? So I mentioned a lot of time. Memory is important. Memory and memory is the everything. What is the main, the purpose of the memory? The Daniel said it stores the data and variable. Yes, it's a storage. Very, very nice. Why don't you give the class to the Daniel? So very, very nice and really, really good answer. And also Ryan said the part, the info, the computer. It's a storage. Yes, it's also correct. So it's a storage. As you can see, when I studied, when I'm doing something on my desk, which is the CPU processor, so I need to bring some of the data, some of the books from the bookshelves. So think about if my bookshelf is the mess up like this one. You can see the. I think if you look around the room or your desk, so a lot of you guys have such the problem. It's the same to me. So it's a messed up. So it's very hard to find your book that you're gonna study. So it takes a long time. So which is not the good storage. Instead, so how to organize such a book? In other words, how to organize the data in your memory. So I can give the one idea. So what about this one? Is it good organization? So it's the which one? Does your mom like? The left one or right one? Definitely the right one is the better. So it's exactly same thing on your computer. So when you are doing your programming, so you don't want to mess up your data like this. Instead, you want to organize the data like this. By the way, why don't you take a look at the right-hand side, organize the memory, organize the data. Ryan said the left one is better. From the screen, is it the right? I think this is here this is the messed up. I don't think that this is good. So our goal is to make our bookshelves like this one. So here's the question. If you see this well-organized bookshelves like this one, how many different ways to organize your books? How many different ways? If you take a look at this, the right-hand side the image, where organized the bookshelves, how many different ways can you find to organize the books? Any number of books. Just take a look at this the screen, the image from this one. So how many ways can you find? Infinity. So can you give let's take a look at these images. So you can see the first and the second layer is you can put the horizontally, put the books like this way. So if you take a look at the bookshelves, some of the books, so especially it's the very, very thin the books or file, you can just stack up such a files or the folder or sometimes books like this way. This is the one way to organize the book on your bookshelf, right? What about the third and the fourth layer? If you take a look at the third and fourth layer, So you can see the books are next to each other. So from left to right. So mostly if you take a look at such a book, they are similar or sometimes the same books. Like it's a numbering, the sequel, like the Harry Potter 1, Harry Potter 2, Harry Potter 3. So for example, if you take a look at my bookshelf, last time I introduced this series of book. This is the Little House. I'm not sure how many of you guys read this book. This is from 1, 2, 3. So then I organized such a series of the book like this way. It's a vertically, the vertical way that you can put the books and you can put the next to each other the such a number of books. So you can find the two different ways to organize your book. One is such the first approach. It's like the stack up the books. And the second approach is just to put next to each other. What about the computer memory? What about my bookshelf in anyone's screen on Android? So it's the same thing. So one way is like the stack of the book, like this one. Another way is like you can put the book next to each other. So which one do you like? So each of you just to give the answer 1 or 2 on your chat box. Okay, why don't you give your preference? Which way do you like? Just the number 1 or 2. Which one do you like? So let's see even including the TA, everyone. I'd like to hear your opinion. So let's see the Lanli like the 2 second way, and the Ida likes the 2 most of time, and the Daniel the right one. So number 2, and Brandon like the 2, Brian 2, Ervin 2, Nicholas 2, Brian 2, Jonathan 2. So most of people like the number 2. So why? Anyone who give your idea why do you like the second approach, this one? Anyone? You can unmute by yourself, then say to me, say to us. Lion, can you share your idea why you like this one? No? Oh, Daniel said that you can take every book out without having to lift the stack of the books. Why? And Eden said that helps you access the file books more easily. Right? That's the benefit. The Brian, the easy insert and the remover. Very nice point. So because if you arrange your number book, specifically the sequel book, so if you put the book next to each other in order, then it's very, very easy to find the specific number, and also you can easily insert with another book, or you can remove the book. However, on the other hand, this one, can you take out in the middle? Mostly it's very hard. So you need to lift all the book, which means you need to take out this book, take out this book, take out this book. Okay. Then you can finally get the specific book. Also, if you want to put the new book, you need to just stack up on top. Okay. However, on the other hand, the second approach, so because it's for example, this is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and like that. Okay. So if you find the number 1 position, automatically next one is number 2, next one is number 3, next one is number 4. So you can find it easily. Then you can take out, remove. And also when you put it back to the bookshelf, you can easily find the location. That's the benefit of number 2. So at this time, we are going to say this kind of arrangement is called the stack. Okay. Then this kind of second approach is called the heap. So stack and heap are two major ways to organize the books. In other words, in memory is the space, memory is the storage. When we allocate the space, when we find the location of the books on the bookshelf, so there are two ways of the memory allocation. One is the stack, another one is the heap. So most of the students like the second approach because we love to organize this way. However, is the heap is always better than the stack? What do you think? Any idea? Is there any benefit or benefit of stack? Or is there any problem of the heap? What do you think? What do you think? Anyone? So Aidan said heap is harder to add, which means I guess heap, when you find the location. So I have the new sequel. I got the series of the Harry Potter book this much. Where can you find? There's no free space. You need to take up. So you need to find not just the one space. You need to find first to search the location where you put. So it takes a time to find the location because you need to search the specific location. However, once you find the specific location, next one is just put next. Then it will be fine. Okay. And also the land said stack is easier to move everything at once. At once, unfortunately, in real life we can put all the book together and move. However, in computer there is no way to move all at once. Instead, you need to take out one by one. Okay. However, think about this way. So stack is like the basket. In the basket, you can just put. You don't have to search the location. Just put your book into the bottom, the basket. The next, just put. You don't have to worry about where it goes. Okay? You can just put it. So you can put. Then next, if you have a new book, just put it. Okay? So how long is when you put a new book? So you have a new book here, just one new book. So which one is faster, stack or the heap? First approach or second approach? When you place the one book, new book, so which way is faster? Idan say the stack. Anyone else? Nicholas say the stack. Anyone else? If Daniel said if you can just drop it, then the stack. Yes. So why don't you give the clap to the Daniel, Nick, and Idan? Okay. So why don't you give the clap? So because the stack, you don't have to worry about where it goes. You can just think about you have the shower. So your mom said, why don't you put your clothes to the basket? Do you consider where it goes? Just throw the clothes to the basket. Then it goes. It just stack up. But if you place the new book to your bookshelf, you need to think about where it goes. Is this the better? Is this the better? Is this the better? Like it takes a time. So in computer, especially memory, so stack is a really, really fast way. However, as some of you already mentioned, heap is also benefit. It is easy to find and insert and remove. So unlike the stack, you cannot get out the book in the middle. You need to only take out, put, and pop. However, in the heap, you can define the location easily. So that is the benefit of using the stack and also heap. So which way does the memory use to allocate the memory? Here's the question. Stack or heap? Which the approach will be used in memory allocation? What do you think? Why don't you give your idea? Number one or number two? In real computer memory allocation. So Daniel said the heap because the location matter. Very nice answer. Anyone else? Lion said, I'm guessing heap, the data is easier to find. Easier does not mean fast. Okay. And Lan said, I think the heap because the bookshelf is the limit of the memory. Very nice answer. Anyone else? Most of you guys like the heap, but computer use both stack and heap. So this is a different story, but this is very important. When you have any programming error, so what is the best way to solve the problem? What is the best way to solve the problem? Asking to the Professor Lee? No, you don't have to. Look up the book? No, you don't have to. What is the best and the best way to solve the programming error problem? You remember? Brian, so what do you think? What is the fastest way to debug, to fix the programming problem, Brian? What do you think? No, I mentioned many times. The Brian, I asked you the TA, Brian. What is the fastest? Usually, what do you do when you encounter any error? I suggest.
Print statements everywhere.
Oh, what do you say?
Print statements everywhere.
Just to search the Google. That is the fastest way. Okay. So I think the most of you guys are using the Google search. Okay. So for example, the Google. Then if you like the Python out of the index error. For example, when you search the such error, so a lot of time you will find this one, the Stack Overflow. Okay, so this is one of the best the way to fix your problem. If you click, so they already had the solution then. So this is the most popular and the powerful and easiest way to solve your problem. At that time, why name is the Stack Overflow? Why is the Stack Overflow? Irvin, TA? Have you ever thought about why the name of this site is Stack Overflow? This is because this stack. Memory used a lot, the stack. If stack, this is a basket. So if you put the data, but it's the over limit, it's called the Stack Overflow error. Stack Overflow error is the most popular error when you deal with the memory. Long time ago, not nowadays, but a long time ago, it's called the stack overflow. It's a real headache. So people, the group, the name, the stack overflow. So this is from the stack, the structure, memory allocation. So keep in mind, there are two ways, stack and the heap, when we are using the memory. Okay. Then why we consider such a different way? Why? Why we consider? If we just use like this one, it will be better and easier. But why we consider different ways of the such a memory allocation? Nicholas, the TA or not the third TA? So what do you think? Because it's not easy question, so I'm asking to the TAs.
Because speed.
What do you say?
Because it needs speed.
Yes, it's because of speed. So computer needs speed. So that's the first reason. Why do you use computer? Because it's fast. Fast for what? Calculation. So that's the reason it's named as a computer. Compute. A person, a thing that compute. How to compute? It's a very fast. So if your computer is slow, throw away. You don't have to use computer. So people always fighting. People are fighting with such a speed. Is there any efficient way? Is there any faster way? So they developed a new algorithm. They developed proposed the way structure like the stack or the heap or the something others. Then finally they can make the computer compute the data fast, efficient. So stack and heap is the way to make your computer fast. Okay. So because you guys are really, really smart, one more thing. When do we use the stack? That is a really, really important question when you are doing any program language. This is a homework. So why don't you search why? So we understand heap is good, but heap is slow because we need to find, I mean the slower than the other because we need to search the location and but why, where we can what in which case we use, not we, the computer use the stack data structure. Okay, why don't you search the Google or ask the brother who is majoring the computer science like that. The stack can be used for what? Okay, you already know the answer. Okay, so we will see the next week. Okay, so this is a step. So let's see how does the step work. It's called a push. So if you have the basket, like this one, so we can only put on top of the last one. This is called the push. And C and D. Once it is the full or the once say every data is on, then the next time we can the pop out. Or this is not the push, this is called the pop. Yes. So pop out from the top and the next one and next one and next one. Here is the hint, the clue. Why stack, where stack can be used. So like the A, B, C, D is kind of a function. Can you guess why? Why stack is very, very important. So you can consider A, B, C, D as a function. Then you will understand. So benefit is a fast. You don't have to worry about the location, just put. But problem comes, as you guys already talk, it's not easy to get the middle of the data. Okay, so that is the pros and cons. Heap is a different way. So once you find the location, then automatically next one and next one And next one, it's like the grow. It's a grow. So grow to the right, like this one. Okay. However, when you search the data, it's very easy because it's indexed like the 0, 1, 2, 3. And this is the location. So then we can get the data from the middle, like unlike the step. So you can get the A, then you can get the D, you can get the C, like this one. So most of the time, heap is used for the list. So that is the reason I introduced the heap today. It's like the array. The is organized by the heap. So benefit, so you can find the specific location to get the data or delete the data and insert the data. Okay, one more thing for today's lesson. So there's another operation used a lot in computer science. It's called the swap. So what's the meaning of the swap? What's the meaning of swap? Daniel, are you there? So what is the swap means? So change the value or switch the value. Very nice. So thanks so much, Brandon. So for example, in this case, if you swap A and B, right now A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 2. Then what we want is the A is 2, B is 1. Computer cannot exchange the data directly. No way. Instead, so let's see how does computer swap the value. Swap used a lot when you process data. So we need the always temporary space. This is a variable AB and you need the temporary variable. So first temp, you need to keep one of them. So in this case, A is assigned to the temp, which means temp is 1, right? Then A is equal to B. This is not the equality, this is assignment. So A is D, which means A, the value on the memory is changed by the B, which is 2. Then this is the 2. This is the program. This time the A is 2 and B is 2. Then the next B is assigned by the temp. So B is the 1. So if you print A and B like this one, so this will be 2 and 1. Then this is a swap. Everybody can understand. But don't forget, when you swap the value, in computer programming, always you need the temporary space, temporary variable. What about the list? This is I think the last time that we did, we are going to review how does the list work in the memory. So with the swap operation. So we are going to swap the first, this is the list. The list, you can use is the bracket separate by the comma. So if you have 10, 20, 30, this is the original list. What we want to do is the swap, the first one and second one like this. Okay. So if you open the PyCharm, so why don't you open your PyCharm? I already sent out the email with the link to download. As a user, download the file. Okay. I will give a couple of more minutes because my PyCharm takes a longer time to start. Why don't you download, click the link that I sent, then download the zip file, then unzip to the always anyone Python folder, then create the project. This is the E12 project. So if you open the list swap.py, py file first here, then this is not correct, the program. So if you run, why don't you first run the program? So you can see the my list is 10, 20, 30. Then the first print my list. Then if you swap the element, the my list 0, my list 1. So let's go to the function. It's the element 1, element 2. It's the exactly same way that we have the discussed just before. So temporary space. So element 1 is saved to the temporary space, and element 1 is assigned by element 2, and element 2 is a temp. Then if you print this, what happened? Let's run the program. So Python, and this is a list swap.p1. What happened? It's not changing. Even though I change it over here, swap, but it didn't change. So what happened? Let's take a look at the Anyone Python screen. So first, I create a my list like this one. No problem. At this time, hint, because today we learn this array is created where? Heap or stack? My question is the list use heap or stack? Which one does the list use? Heap or stack? What do you think? Yes, very nice, Daniel. So please give the the clap or the thumbs up to the Daniel. This is gonna be the heap. Okay, because it's just the sequence of the data, sequence of SQL book like that. Okay, then you are going to call the swap element buggy, the function. So first index 0 and second index 1. My list 0, my list 1 as the parameter value. Then we are going to swap. Then what happens? If you print this, it's not changed. 10, 20, 30. Why? Anyone? Oh, Eden also said the heap. Very nice answer. Thank you. Why it's not changing? If you take a look at the code, so even though you get the my list 0, my list 1 in this function, but it is saved as element 1, element 2. So element 1 and element 2 will be created inside this function. So this variable is called the local variable. It's used only within this function. So even though you change the value of my list, so from the 10, 20, it's no longer my list. It's just a value 10, value 20. So even though you change the 10 and 20, it doesn't change the my list. So if you print out the my list, it's still the 10, 20, 30. So how can we fix the problem? So first, put the correct code to the swap element working over here. Okay. So hint is you are going to give the a list. So you will get the list, unlike this one. Then index number and index number that you are going to swap. So why don't you solve this problem? I will give the from me. The first comment the old one, buggy one, and uncomment the swap element working, then add your code, erase the delete the path, and type your code. If you solve the problem, please give me thumbs up. Hint, instead of changing the receiving the value, directly change it the element of the list. Anyone who solved the problem? Let's solve the problem. So together. So just like the swap operation, you can create a temp. Then you are going to put the data, first index data. What is the first index data? It's the A list. Is the list, my list, going to A list. Then index the one. Okay. Then A list index one is A list index two. Then we change the index one value, the first one value. Then A list index two equal temporary. Then this time, what is the difference? We are going to directly change the value of A list list. Okay. Then let's check it out. So we can run the same program, Python 3 list swap, and see the result. It's a 10, 20, 30 original after swap 20, 10, 30. Okay, so why don't you change your code like this and see the result. While we are waiting, here's a question. You can directly change the value of my list in the function. This is because of what? We talked about the last time. Why this one is changing? Oh, yes. That's your program is run. So let's see this. So if you see the anyone Python screen, you definitely can understand this code. So first, my list, 10, 20, 30. Then the create the function, swap element working. So at this time, parameter is the my list, and index number 0 and index number 1, like this. Then first temp is what? A list. This is a mistake. The 0. So what is A list 0? Index 1. This is this. So temp is 10. Then A list 0. A list 0 is the A list 1. So you can directly change the value. Then it will be 20 for the index 0. Then A list 1 is 10. So 20, 10. You can directly change the value. So then when you display the my list, it will be 20, 10, 30. This is because what kind of the property of what kind of characteristic of the list? Because list is mutable data structure, mutable. So do you remember what is a mutable? Anyone who remember the mutable structure? If not, what about the Alvin this time? Our TA Alvin? What do you think? Why? What is the mutable data structure? What do you think? Or anyone else? Brian, do you know what is the mutable data structure? Yes, very nice. You can change the value. However, sometimes there is an immutable data type. Next class, we will talk about the string. String is immutable, which means you cannot directly change the value. So keep in mind, list you are able to change the data element value directly. Okay, so this is a key point. So let's continue. The important thing of the list is that each element has the index value, like this one, so like the heap, the memory allocation. So sometimes you want take out I wanna only the part of the list, like the index number 1 and 2. Can I get the part of this, or can I slice? This is called the slice of the list. So let's try this. So why don't you open the Python console by clicking the bottom of the pie chart. Then create the A list like this. A, B, C, D, E, F. So why don't you create your A list, A, B, C, D, E, F. So index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Length is the 6. The list. Then you are able to check the memory status, right hand side. In your memory, a list is created. So at this time, you can slice, like the A slice, you can create the small slice part of the list. Let's say the A slice. A slice is a list. From where? Index number 1 through 3. Then if you print the A slice, it is a B and C. Oh, by the way, A is 0, B is 1, C is 2. But I want 1 through 3. But when you slice, this is not included. Left 1 is included, but right hand side. Start is included, but the end is not included. It's always less than this. So for example, here, if you specify 1, 3, starting 1, so this is okay. But the C is okay. But the D less than always the 3. So that's the reason B and C. So then A slice. So 0. What is A slice 0? This one. I want to change the value by the X. Yes, you can do that. Why? Because list is mutable data. Okay, so you can change it. So let's see. Print. Why don't you follow me? If you just watch me, it's a waste of your time. Okay, please try to type something. Okay, then you can see the X is changing. Okay, one more thing. When you slice, it creates a new list. How do you know it's created? If you check the right hand side of the pie chart, you can see the list is created. So whenever you are doing slicing does not really slice the existing one, Instead, it creates a new one like this, a slice. It's in the memory, okay? So this is a slice. There are a bunch of other ways to use a slice. So why don't you guess? A slice 2 to 4. 2 start from 2. This one less than 4. So this one 3 is included, but E is not, because this is not inclusive. So it's not, it's exclusive. So 2 and 3 will be returned. So what about this? 1 through 6. 1, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 less than 6. So this will be returned. And 0 to 3, 0, 1, 2. So this will be returned. So you can check the output like this. Okay. This is the slice. So start and end. The end is not inclusive. Okay. Then what about the minus? So minus means it's starting from the end. Okay, starting from the end. Not always you know the length of the slice. You can use the LEM function, but I want to access. I do not know the length of the list, but I want to access from the last one. So last one is -1. So this one -2. So -3, -4, -5, -6. So for example, so if you A list, so let me directly print the A list 2, start from 2 and -2. So start from 2. So this is a 2. -2 is the -2 is less than this -2. So enter C and D. Because -2 is here, -2 is not included. So C and D will be displayed. So -2, oh, there's no end. End means all the way. So -2 is here. So this will be displayed all the way to this one. So starting from the beginning, all the way, -1 is all the way, and this is -1. So this will be displayed. So no start, no end, is to display everything. So you can type directly and check it out. Then you are able to know. This is very, very useful nowadays when you are doing the Python programming. So there are advanced slides, which is the steps. That means it's a jump. So for example, 1 through 5. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is not included. But this time, skip the 2, which means D, okay, but C, no, jump. D is okay, then jump. But it's less than 5. So less than 5 is up to here. So B and D will be displayed like this. How do I check? You can just type A list 1, 5, 2, enter. And you will see P and D will be displayed. What about this one? Print. Nothing, nothing, 2. So start, no, it's from the beginning. And no, which means all the way end. But skip every other element. So A, C, E will be displayed like this. So then 4, 1, -1, 1, 4, -1. So you guys can easily understand and use this slice. So this is the output. So what is the benefit of such a slice? So we are able to combine this loop and slice with loop. So we already use a range. So range can be can generate what? The list of the number. So range 5 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. At this time, if we know the length of the list, then this length of the list will be range, which means that this is an index. So you are able to access each element. Or you can directly access the element using the for in operation, the command. Okay, so this is the very useful to combine the loop and slice with the index number. So this is the example. So if you want to use the specific element in the range, you can use the slicing or list like this way. So it's the end of the today's class. So there are some other things. So rest after the this class, I'm going to split the this group into 3. Nicholas, the Daniel, and Brian, and Erwin. Then solve the problem of the create the grid. So why don't you explain the create grid? Okay. So explain the grid. I think the we do better. I need to explain the more to the exercise today. I think the we do better. The cancel the TA the hour. So, but the next class we will have the TA office hour. The that where when the each TA will explain the problem. I think that I need more time to explain about the slice and the two-dimensional array. Okay, thanks so much for your attending. So then the next class will be the July the 16th or 17th on Saturday. Then I think that we have the 3 more lectures. So that during that time, I'm going to try my best to cover. But to do that, I need your help. If you do not help me, so it will be slower and slower. So thanks so much for your attending today. Thanks so much, Irvin and Brian and Nicholas. And we will see the next class. So on July the 17th. Okay, thank you.